Hello, and welcome to our broadcast brought to you by LakeCAM, Lakeville's Community Access Channels. My name is Katie Goodfellow, and I'm currently the town moderator and a near lifelong resident of Lakeville. This evening, I'm interviewing Richard LaCamera for the position of on the Board of Selectmen. This position has garnered a lot of interest, and we have 6 individuals who have filed their paperwork to be considered for the position. We have prepared a few questions for this interview to help the citizens of Lakeville learn more about our candidates. Each candidate will have the opportunity to answer the same questions, and they have not been told these questions in advance. We encourage voters to attend the Selectmen Candidate Forum, and that is scheduled for October 16th at 7 p.m. in the Great Ponds Gallery of the Lakeville Library. The forum will also be available on LakeCAM's government channel, Comcast 9 or Verizon 31, and on vimeo.com/LakeCAM. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. I'm going to get right into it and ask you some questions. First, would you take a moment to share your background and why you're interested in running for this position?
Okay. I've lived in Lakeville for 45 years, and with my wife Susan, my 4 children, and I've always been involved, in town government. I've been in municipal government for 34 years, serving various boards and committees, and I think it's important, once again, that I get involved in the community because there's some issues that I think need to be addressed, and there's going to be some challenges going forward.
Why do you think the voters should consider you the best candidate for the position?
I have, like I said, 34 years of experience in municipal government that include 16 years on the Finance Committee, 9 years on the Board of Selectmen, 8 years as being the town administrator for the town of Rochester, and I'm currently the Lakeville librarian. So consistent for 34 years. I've been involved in municipal government, and I want to continue to do that.
So you're on the library board?
Trustee. Yep. Board of Trustees, yep.
So that really was my third question about elaborating your service, which you just did very well. So I'm going to get right into question 4, which is, what do you think are the most pressing issues facing the town of Lakeville, and what would you do on the board to address them?
Well, I've done 25 years of budgets, and I looked at the fiscal budget that just passed this past June, and I'm very concerned about sustaining that budget with the revenues that have been used in the 20 budget. Is going to be very difficult to match in the fiscal 21 budget. Number 2, I'm concerned that, just over the last few years, we've had over 300 housing permits approved, and that's a very significant number in a short period of time, which will have an effect on the services, fire, police, schools, and so forth. And the third issue is that I want to make sure that the town residents are respected, and the town employees as well, to try to keep them informed as best I can as to what's going on.
What role do you see the board playing in preserving the character of the town of Lakeville? And what should we continue to preserve, and what do we need to consider changing?
Well, I was on the Board of Selectmen. Well, first of all, I'll start back. In 1982, I was the chairman of the Finance Committee when we purchased Ted Williams Camp. And, a lot of people would say, why are we purchasing Ted Williams Camp with a bunch of baseball fields? And I said at town meeting, as former Selectman Fickett had said, that this is the future of the town of Lakeville. This is the center of the town of Lakeville. And boy, did we see that, with all of the buildings. We got the new police station. We're in the new police station that's over here. We got the COA on this property. We also have the library, which is probably one of the most beautiful libraries in southeastern Massachusetts. And when we decided to move forward with that project, we actually laid out where we want town buildings to be, whether it's a fire station or a town office building. So that investment was $2.6 million, and that included the tennis club, and we wound up selling the tennis club after that. But the townspeople had absolutely no problem overwhelmingly supporting that project. The second thing was when I was on the Board of Selectmen in 2002, the opportunity to buy Betty's Neck, which is a 483 piece of land that's on the pond, the Assawamsett Pond Complex. And the same thing applied that, we negotiated along with, Nancy Yate, who was passionate on the Conservation Commission, that we try to preserve that. And we got a significant amount of grant money to buy that piece of property, and we paid $1.1 million to buy that property. And along with that came conservation land or protection along all the waterfront of all of the pond complex of over 2,000 acres. So that was very significant. So yes, I'm interested in preserving, the town's rural character. It's a little more difficult today, to do that. There's not a lot of large parcels. You have to be very strategic on which parcels you want to protect. I'm concerned about the Ocean Spray property down on 18. They have hundreds of acres down there on 18, and so I'm concerned about that piece. I guess that's about it for now.
We actually have quite a lot of time left. So,
Okay.
Was there anything that you might want to add that I haven't asked that you really feel is important to convey to the people of Lakeville?
Okay. Well, one of the most important things that I think needs to be addressed is maintaining the open communication with the town residents, other boards, and employees. We just recently had an override vote for the Route 79, and it was quite obvious that overwhelming got defeated, and people didn't know what they were voting for. And I think that in order to get people to understand what they're voting for, we need to have more forums and better explanation, as to what is being voted on. The same thing, would apply to as far as the employees are concerned. No, let the employees know what's going on, what needs to be addressed, what needs to be fixed, personnel policies and procedures. Those need to be reviewed and need to be updated. So those are some of the concerns, a couple of the concerns that I'm concerned about. And of course I had, committed to maintaining Lakeville's rural character and infrastructure. Some people say, oh geez, what'd you build this police station for? Had to build this police station. This is an important thing that needed to be addressed. It was on the capital plan back in 2006, and finally, it got addressed recently. But, I've been fortunate to serve on the Apponequet High School renovation and building committee, the middle school building committee, the COA building committee, the library building committee, and recently the police station building committee. Those things are important. Not only are they important, but they also got to maintain them. And I think one of the things that the town hasn't done on a regular basis is maintain, some of their facilities. I also, appreciate and support the importance of quality education. All 4 of my children went to Lakeville schools. They all went on to college, and they've all done very well. And I think that, a good school system is very, very important to the community. And I want to make sure that we maintain that quality, of education, as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your thoughts and your comments. And I know that the voters of Lakeville really appreciate your taking the time to meet with us today.
No problem.
And I will remind everyone that we have the Board of Selectmen Candidate Forum on the 16th, and I encourage everyone to come to that, which incidentally is the last day you may register to vote in the special town election, slated for November 5th. Thank you,
Okay,
and we'll
thank
see you
you.
at the polls.